Universal's Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas contains some of the coolest things I've ever seen in a haunted house. But does it revolutionize the entertainment landscape in the way that many anticipated? Opening just last week, Universal's new HHN outing, or maybe what should emphatically be referred to as a true HHN light, had an astronomical amount of hype surrounding its grand debut. And while I found opening day to be marred by operational issues that I'm sure will be fixed down the road, the real question becomes, is Horror Unleashed worth traveling all the way to Las Vegas to experience? For those who have attended Orlando's event in the last decade, you won't find much new in the haunts. Scarecrow the Reaping stands far and away as the best experience, with Universal monsters in a close battle for the limelight. Blumhouse's The Exorcist Believer and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, however, felt a bit flat in their execution, sanitized of the griminess that made them so effective previously. However, I will say that these two haunts contain some of the best characters and my favorite moments of the night. And while the haunts were all centered around one new idea we'll cover in a bit, this is Vegas, baby. Horror Unleashed is about so much more. Of course, the real stars of Horror Unleashed are Jack and Chance, whose pop-up shows seem to happen in Jack's alley every hour. And this was the biggest surprise of the event for me. While sipping on my bloodsucker, I wasn't expecting to be fully enveloped by Jack's maniacs and Chance selecting participants for the chaos that was about to erupt on the main stage.
Speaking of accessories to murder, we need to pick a few very special people. People who will decide who stays and who we slay.
I'm normally a one-and-done type of guy for theme park entertainment, but the ad-lib nature of Jack and Chance had me enthralled the entire time, and the sideshow acts were some of the best I've seen, even if there were still a few moments that needed polish.
Hell yeah, Jack! Say, hell yeah, Jack! Hell yeah, Jack! Say, hell yeah, Jack! Hell yeah, Jack!
Full of memorable one-liners and the pandemonium we've grown to love from the King of Carnage, the duo was phenomenal.
Right. Congratulations, degenerates, because you lucky sacks of screen meat just stumbled into Chance's favorite little game. Stay or slay! You bloodthirsty monsters are as ruthless as I am!
I said execution!
But Jack and Chance aren't the only entertainment that Horror Unleashed has to offer. Sure, you can, and I did, marathon haunted houses all night, but judging this experience solely on a new interpretation of storied ideas isn't what it's about. Littered throughout are not only Easter eggs for HHN maniacs to marvel at, especially those who are familiars of Orlando's event, but the roaming actors everywhere are what make Horror Unleashed, drawing you deeper into the spectral story of this cursed warehouse. Sat on a spiritual fault line according to the legendary truth operatives. The narrative is involved and far-reaching, something we weren't able to fully experience during a sold-out opening. But I don't think you would find anyone that would disagree with my statement that the actors are the best part of Horror Unleashed. Committed to the bit and gleefully enjoying every moment, you could simply spend a good bit of time watching the scenes and learning far more about HHN than you'd be able to at other events. And with legendary truth involved, a collective known for intricate stories that always reveal more than meets the eye, who knows how deep this rabbit hole will go in coming months. Now, I'm not the guy to watch if you're looking for food and beverage reviews, mostly because I'm poor.
Congratulations, degenerates!
But I didn't dislike anything I tried, and I would easily consider it elevated HHN food. Very well executed bites that aren't winning any awards, but I'd gladly munch on the churrasco every single night at Orlando's event. Truthfully, you don't have to worry about arriving to Area 15 with a full stomach. Now that we've covered, well, mostly everything, let's dive back into the haunts a bit more and focus on what Universal has hyped as making Horror Unleashed different from any other Halloween event: memorable moments. These haunts weren't designed around pushing as many people through conga lines as possible, with each one having at least one cinematic moment where you were intended to stop, watch, and interact with the actors as the scene unfolds in front of you. It's the biggest thing that sets Vegas apart from any other HHN location. Well, these moments were affected most by the day one operational hiccups. The expansion of this concept is certainly something to watch, something that Horror Unleashed could make waves in the industry with, especially on slower days, to truly cement this as a must-see destination. My favorite memorable moment was without a doubt the dust storm in Scarecrow the Reaping. It looks a bit cheesy upon first entering, but once the fog blast from every corner and the industrial fans kick on, you truly can't see where you're going. You certainly couldn't do anything like this at regular HHN, and it may end up being one of my favorite haunted house moments, well, anywhere. But those memorable moments don't house the biggest secrets. They unsuspectingly lie in plain sight. From a spider in Texas Chainsaw, oddly reminiscent of those hidden throughout 2022's event, or a hidden sign in the Black Lagoon that reads Rita, or even this miniature statue in the tribute store that looks oddly identical to this one that appears annually in Orlando. It's clear to me that much of this attraction is more than just surface level fan service. And I guess before we move on, I'll give the scaredy cat for scariest scene to the puppet scares in Scarecrow the Reaping, and the soiled shorts for best actor scare to the not pictured Leatherface at the end of Texas Chainsaw that spent 8 hours trying to saw off everyone's ankles. The melted plastic for best facade? Why not give it to the Exorcist Believer? It's the most intriguing of the bunch to wander through. And the big brain for best effects to the aforementioned Dust Bowl. Sorry, Universal Monsters, but you've still got a lot to love. So, the verdict. Is Horror Unleashed worth booking a trip to... Well, you've seen pretty much everything that there is to experience. And if it seems a bit small, that's because it is. The common area feels tinier than the Soundstage 21 queue in Orlando. And I found myself wandering the same areas a lot over the course of the night, popping into the tribute store frequently to break things up. And while I do think HHN tends to struggle in the merch department, I enjoyed the variety featured here. And we were also informed that many of the items had yet to arrive, which leads to the complicated answer of yes, you should visit Horror Unleashed. But also, you don't really have to. If you're an HHN fan, but aren't obsessive about the lore and Easter eggs, you'll probably find this HHN Light to be nothing more than a rehash of what you've already seen in Orlando. The haunts certainly aren't better, with only Scarecrow the Reaping and Universal Monsters coming close. But if you're nostalgic for HHN in the off-season, or if you're still pretty new to the event and want to know what the buzz has been about for the past few decades, absolutely book a trip to Horror Unleashed in the off-season. Or even plan a quick stop in Vegas on the way to see all the West Coast haunts this year. This event is a fantastic introduction to Universal's big budget approach, even if it still feels a bit reined in while trying to find its identity. I, for one, can't wait to go back in a couple of months and see how this event has found its footing, and I certainly hope that you do too. With Horror Unleashed already announced for Chicago, the future of unique attractions like this depend on your presence and feedback. Nothing ever starts out perfect, but Horror Unleashed will never become what you hope it will be without giving the support to flourish. Now, if you want more content, check out this HHN Countdown.